Hey, Yael, how are you?
Hi, Nir. Good evening.
Hey, good evening to you also. I'm very, very happy that we have you on the FinTech Week. I've known you for a while. I've been reading about your activities. Of course, Bank Discount is a bank I know. I worked with Bank Discount, but whatever you're doing with the innovation, something works because I'm seeing a lot of good news and good development every week now. But before we dive into the bank, I want to know about you and give us a little bit of a background.
Okay, thanks for the compliments first, and I hope we'll get a chance to tell you everything about innovation in Discount. I am head of FinTech and Innovation at Discount Bank. I've been with the bank for 4 years now. And before that, I established FinTech and Innovation at Bank Hapoalim in Israel, which is the largest bank in Israel. And that was in 2013. And I was lucky to begin my journey at FinTech together with the involvement of the FinTech industry in Israel. So I know the FinTech ecosystem and industry in Israel quite well. I meet with a lot of startups. I think that I see over 100 startups every year. And it's really amazing to see what happened to the FinTech industry in Israel and how vibrant it became. And there's so much creativity and so much innovation going on. So I'm lucky to be in that job.
Amazing, amazing. And tell me a little bit about Bank Discount and the revolution, because I know Bank Discount, again, like 5 years ago. But whatever is going now, it's a totally different bank from at least what I'm seeing.
Yeah, that's true. Bank Discount, first of all, it's a universal bank. It is the third largest in the market, and it's a very old bank. Bank Discount was established more than 90 years ago. It's older than the country of Israel. And at some point, it started deteriorating, and 6 years ago now, a new management was in place, and they really made an amazing revolution. They turned around in the bank in all parameters, starting from the financial performance of the bank. We grew constantly in the amount of customers and productivity and profitability and number of customers. So really the bank have changed completely. And a part of that revolution was the revolution of innovation and technology. When the revolution started, the bank had so much gaps between the banking system in Israel. So there was a part that took like a year or 2-3 years to really close the gaps between the industry standard and the bank. And then at some point, and that was around the time that I joined the bank, our management felt that we are now ready for a rise in innovation also. So I joined the bank, and we started doing great things together. Our attitude is, I think it's more disruptive, and it's really trying to do something different than the other banks in the ecosystem. Because we are a mid-sized bank, we're more willing to take risks. We see the opportunity in innovation and less afraid of cannibalization of our activities. And we're very open to innovation, and we invite everyone to join us in our innovation journey.
So I'll dive you through some of the topics that I collected in the last few weeks that I'm following because of the summit and everything that I'm doing. Open banking. I saw you launch like a portal or something, and also a partnership with Rise Up that we also have here on the summit. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so we have began our open banking journey 3 years ago, which I think it's kind of shows how open we are to innovation and how we think differently about the market. That regulation is just getting into place, and we were so much ahead of regulation. And we put an API platform 3 years ago. Our first and successful partnership was with fintech called iCount, which offers online banking, online accounting services to small, medium business customers. So this was the first project that we did. And now the partnership we did with the Rise Up is actually another development in our journey to open banking. Rise Up, as I already know, is one of the promising companies in Israel. It offers customers with great experience of managing their financials through cash flow. And we help our customers to connect their bank account into Rise Up in a secured and simple way. And we see the benefit from this collaboration by that our customers can really enjoy a great service for their needs, and we can offer them a great an enhanced customer experience and added value through a third party. Meaning that we see open banking is an opportunity. You know, a lot is being said about open banking and the threats for banks around open banking, but we try to see the opportunity in that. And those partnerships, like I mentioned, with iCount and with Rise Up, really show that we can see the benefit of partnering with third parties and expanding our offering to our customers through a third party.
So this is exactly, if I understand, your role. Like your role is to listen to the fintechs, to bring the innovation to the bank and make sure the partnership really works, right?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I meet with a lot of startups. This is the basic level of my role. And then I try to think what we can do with them. And our strategy to work with fintechs goes in few ways. One of them is to look for partnership like the one we mentioned before. The other one is to look for new and innovative and disruptive models like we did in Paybox. We can talk about it later. Another stream of work is to see if there are startups that we can use their technology and integrate it into the bank. And the fourth and last channel of work is fintech investments. So we do offer fintechs a wide range of opportunities to work with us. And of course, both sides benefit from this relationship.
Wow. Amazing. Yeah, you mentioned the Paybox. For people who don't know, some people don't know because we are an international summit, you know, people are tuning in from all over the world. So what is Paybox exactly?
I think that, you know, for me, Paybox is a great example of disruptive innovation through partnership with third parties. The Paybox application is an app that works in the payment space. It allows peer-to-peer and group payment money collection. And I think that we had a great experience with Paybox. And if you want, I can elaborate on that.
Yeah, you basically, Paybox was a company before the deal is made, and basically you acquired, if I understand, you acquired Paybox and you made it into the bank's payment application.
Right. So I can take you, you know, 4 years back when I just joined Discount and tell you the whole story about Paybox. When I joined the bank 4 years ago, there was something starting to move on in the payments industry. We heard what is going on in China with Alipay and WeChat. In the US, Google Pay and Apple Pay were starting to be more established. And we had our main competitor, Bank Hapoalim, launching an application, a peer-to-peer application to customers by the name Bit, which became later on very successful. And we were thinking what we can do in this market, because we understood that the payment market is changing, and it's a very important area for our future as a bank. And then I recalled that I remember meeting this great small company a while ago when I was still at Poalim. So I called the CEO at that time, and I told him, I'm in discount now, let's meet. In meeting him, I was amazed by the great progress that the company did through the period of time that we didn't speak. The company grew virally without any marketing budget, from 10,000 users a year before I was talking to the CEO to over 100,000 users. So it was amazing to see and that there is something viral about this app, and that people just use it. So we said, wow, that might be something we should act upon. And it took us a while to structure the deal, because as you said before, there was a company, it was operating, and we wanted to do something with it, but how do you manage to structure a deal that would benefit both sides? So our idea was to convince the company to sell us our activity in Israel, and to turn from a B2C company to a B2B company. And that was the nature of the deal. We acquired the Paybox activity in Israel. The company turned into a B2B company, trying to duplicate their model in different countries. And we took the activity to our bank. Later on, we were facing a lot of challenges of how to take a small, very, very small, tiny startup, which didn't meet banking regulations, standards, technology standards, compliance, and how do you keep the spirit of a startup within a bank and still making things work? Mm-hmm. Overall, we did a great job, I guess, because when you look now where we are, we're leading, we are a leader, we're a player, a very strong player in the payment market in Israel. We have over 1.5 million customers. Everyone in Israel knows what Paybooks is. Everyone, I'm sure you have their app on your phone. Everyone has it and use it. And we are expanding our offering, and we're doing great stuff with it. So it's really, really a good example of how you can turn the relationship with the startup into a real innovative act.
Absolutely. And I'm sure, as you said, you're still being approached by so many great fintech companies. Some of it come to public, and we all know about it, like RiseUp. Some of them we will know about. And I think, I saw that you're leading right now in focusing on open banking, and open banking is still not there yet, as you said, in Israel, right? But you're already building the blocks, right, to have the bank ready. And this is the next revolution from the bank, right?
I believe that open banking will change the market, but there is still a long way to go, because for that to happen, you need a whole ecosystem to be developed. And today we were leading this market, but for the real change and the potential of open banking to happen, you need a complete ecosystem to work. So it's the banks that needs to get into place. It's more and more fintechs that would get into the market and use the shared data. And it's the customer that would be open to adopt new solutions. So open banking is big. When you look at what is happening outside of Israel, open banking exists. There are places that it's more successful than the others, but it's still growing, and it's still in the early stages.
That's true. I completely agree with you.
Yeah, I just read that in the UK, they now celebrated 2 million customers that use the shared data in third parties application. It's only a small use case, and it's only a small amount of the population, but it will grow. I guess that over time, it will make a change in the market. But I
Yes.
also think, you know, that there are other ways for innovation, not only open banking, and we are looking at them all the time.
Yes, yes, I completely agree. And by the way, I forgot to say, but this is a FinTech week. We have lots of great Israeli fintechs joining us, and really amazing companies that are making an impact globally. And we're also focusing this year specifically not only in Israel, but also in the UAE.
Okay.
So I'm seeing that there's a lot of delegations and a lot of, the first flights are the banks, right? Are flying both ways.
Yeah.
What's going on
uh,
around there?
wow. I think first days were the two big banks that traveled to the Emirates. I'm actually was invited to speak on a webinar next week with companies and banks to talk about innovation. Um, you know, it's a great thing that peace is happening and that we can share um, our knowledge with those countries. I haven't been there. I'm hoping to be, but I heard, you know, I read and I hear a lot from people that were there. It seems that we can offer them great technologies, but I guess that we can learn something from them also. They are very advanced in some areas, and this collaboration and dialogue, it's a great thing, and I'm sure it will bring us a lot of value to both countries.
Yes, yes, I agree. Before we end, of course, you mentioned that innovation is not just open banking, and I totally agree with you. What other ways do you see the bank going towards to in terms of innovation? What other revolutions happen inside the bank? Because now it looks very innovative, also in terms of, by the way, the design, the user interfaces, like stuff like that, right?
I think, you know, generally speaking, when we look at innovation, we keep on asking ourselves, how could we stay relevant? And by relevant, I mean relevant for our customers, which are all the time are being offered with more and more um, value propositions from more and more players that get into the ecosystem. And so I said relevant to customers and relevant to the ecosystem, because there is a new ecosystem that is evolving. You know, there are fintech players that are getting, I just looked at the last report of CB Insights. They're talking about 67 unicorns in fintech industry all over the world. So it's amazing numbers. So fintechs are, some of them are really, really growing and they're big. They're the big techs that are coming into financials. And this is a real threat for the banking industry. We see banks that are trying to collaborate with them. In the past year, we saw Citi and Google in partnership. We saw Amazon and JP Morgan. So we keep on asking ourselves how we can be relevant. So one way is to go in the path of those just mentioned, and to offer banking as a service. I think it's becoming big. There are a lot of fintechs that offer banking as a service, but I guess that banks also can get into that market. There is open banking that we talked about. And there is also a need to digitize all our traditional processes in the bank and our customer experience. As you mentioned, in Discount, we did a great revolution in that. We have the best digital channels today, our application and our website, and we keep on adding more and more innovative products on
And
our.
COVID came, so I guess you had to come up with new features because there's no branches, I guess, right?
Yeah, I think that, you know, COVID has accelerated processes that have started before. The the shift to digital processes, to digital channels. This is something that banks and us also have started before COVID. It just accelerated it very quickly, which is a great thing for the customers and for ourselves. And we allow customers to do more and more on a digital channel. And we educated them before, and now it's only easier to educate them to use channel. But overall, to your question, we are looking all the time, asking ourselves, what can we do? And I think this is maybe the most important thing, is to challenge ourselves all the time, see what is going on in the ecosystem, and see what benefit we could provide to our customers and to the ecosystem. And I believe that we have a lot to give, both to our customers, and we improve our offering all the time, and both to the fintech and other players in the ecosystem. You know, overall, we still, as banks, I talk about our bank, but generally about bank, we still own the relationship with the customer. And this is something that we are doing, making a lot of effort to keep. We have capital that we can offer as as investors, but also as part of collaborations with fintechs. And we have trust, which is trust and customer and wide customer base. And those collaborations with fintechs can add a lot of value, both to the fintech and the customers and our banks.
Exactly. Completely agree. And again, I like what you're doing in the bank. I think you are very approachable. And that's our role, to be approachable to these fintechs, because the next big thing or the next idea or the next feature can come from everywhere, from customer, from company. So how can people learn more about the bank and what your department is doing, and how can they reach to you?
I'm very accessible, as you said. First of all, I love my job. You know, I like to learn, and I like to meet with new companies and learn new ideas and think together with the companies of what we can do together. And I think the best way is to connect on a personal level. So everyone who wants to meet with me, now it's not so easy, but we can speak over the phone, over Zoom, in the garden with the 2 meters and masks, whatever works for you. I'm here to learn, to meet, and to do the next big steps in innovation for Discount Bank, for the startup community.
That's great. And we can use this summit because we are FinTech Week, and all the people are watching us right now. It's not only about hearing the talks, but people can really use this platform here and really connect. And I'm sure fintechs, even from outside of Israel, would love to reach out to you and collaborate and see what's going on and do meaningful things together. So we are always like more than just a summit that people are just hearing the talks like passively. We invite them to reach out to you and your team, and really partner up, because it's a lot about partnerships and partnering together. So I thank you very much for coming here and speaking on behalf of the bank. I really wanted to have you as a speaker on the summit, so I'm really happy that that you are here, and keep up the good work. I'm sure we will collaborate.
Thank you very much, Nir. Thank you for inviting me. It's been a great time, and I invite everyone to talk to me. And good luck with the summit and the great work that you are doing.
Thank you very much. Take care. See you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.